All right. I think we are now live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, from wherever you are joining us from. My name is Omotunde Samuel Shegun, and I'll be your moderator for today's program. Again, this is the Hotspot International Scholarship Forum, and I want to welcome you all to the monthly
Scholar
webinar.
Samuel.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get the link right now. I can't see whether we are live. Okay.
we are live.
Okay. Yeah, we are live. Yeah. Let me share the. Okay, you can. Let me make sure people are joining before we start.
Okay, no
Yeah.
problem. So will you inform me, right?
Yeah, I will inform you. I'm trying to share the link,
All
and
right.
people have started joining. Yeah. So, but let's wait. Probably, I think one people just joined. So, but
Okay.
let me share the direct link on WhatsApp right now.
Okay.
Okay, I'm coming, Scholar Samuel. Okay. I think we can start.
All right. Thank you. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, from wherever you are joining us. My name is Homotunde Samuel Shegun, and I'm going to be your moderator for this webinar. Again, I want to welcome you to our monthly webinar series, which is starting today. And today we are having a special guest. Today's webinar series will be about navigating the Chinese scholarship scheme and ANSO Young Talent Scholarship, an awardee perspective and tips to success. We are having a wonderful guest joining us today from China, the University of Chinese Academy of Science. His name is Scholar Onikola Rasaq. Scholar Razak is a rising talent in the scientific community, pursuing his master's degree at the esteemed University of Chinese Academy of Sciences. His research expertise focus on nanomedicine, drug delivery, synthesis, bioengineering, and phytomedicine. Is being developed at the Institute of Process Engineering, Chinese Academy of Sciences. Before his current position, Scholar Razak earned a bachelor's degree in biochemistry from the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta in 2018, majoring in clinical biochemistry. With a passion for mentorship, he dedicates time to guiding students in their academic and professional journeys, securing scholarships and advancing the field of biochemical sciences. Scholar Razak is joining us today from China, and he will be sharing from his world of experience to us about ANSO and the CSC scholarship. So stay tuned. And while the session is going on, I want to urge you all to drop your comments and questions, so that after the presentation, Scholar Razak can take all your questions and then we can have a smooth section. Thank you all. Over to you, Scholar Razak.
Hello, everyone. My name is Razak Onikola. I'm a graduate research assistant at the Institute of Process Engineering, Chinese Academy of Sciences. I was also opportuned to be an awardee of the prestigious ANSO scholarship in 2021. Thank you, Scholar Shegun, for the opening remarks and also the organizer for this presentation. So today, we are going to be looking at the scholarship opportunities in China at large, focusing on CSC scholarship and ANSO Young Talent Scholarship. So these are the contents in which we are going to be discussing today. Now let's introduce CSC, which is the Chinese government scholarship. So this scholarship is established by the Ministry of Education of China, and they give opportunity to international students, teachers, and scholars in pursuing higher education or for conducting research in China. Talking about the number of universities that partake in this, for Chinese government scholarship, over 250 universities are partaking in this scholarship, of which there are some notable ones like Tsinghua, Peking, Fudan, Zhejiang, Shanghai, Jiaotong universities, which these schools have a notable global ranking. Now, talking about the ANSO scholarship, which means Alliance of International Science Organizations. This scholarship was initiated in 2018, and it's basically started with Chinese Academy of Sciences, which is CAS, and 36 other scientific institutes, as well as some international organization that supports this scholarship. Now, this scholarship provides for scholars who are non-Chinese, gives them the opportunity to study their postgraduate education at colleges or schools of the University of Science and Technology, which is known as USTC, and University of Chinese Academy of Sciences, which is also known as UCAS or Institute of CAS. In subsequent slide, I'm going to be explaining the difference between these schools and the institutes as well. So now let's move on to why study in China. If you get the scholarship, what are the reasons of why you should study here? First, we can see for those of you that like to explore or to learn new things, you can explore some beautiful sightseeing. Then you can be exposed to new culture and language, which is the Mandarin language, of course, which is widely spoken, the most widely spoken language in the world. Also, financial support to focus on academic and research goals. Access to high quality education in China's top university. We also have some high level of scientific research, which there are some sophisticated equipment and machines that will aid learning and also make it faster. Now, what are the relevance of this scholarship? For ANSO scholarship, it's a fully funded scholarship program that aims to support outstanding students and researchers from developing countries. Like I said earlier, you must be a non-Chinese and from developing country, either in Africa, Asia, and some other continents. So scholars can pursue postgraduate degrees in science or technology related fields like physics, chemistry, mathematics, engineering, and environmental science. So basically, for ANSO scholarship, the programs that are involved are STEM programs, science, technology programs. While for CSC, we can have some other discipline like arts, social, and humanities. So this ANSO consists of two programs, which is the master's program and PhD program. So every year, up to 200 master students are enrolled or are given the scholarship, and 300 PhD students are also enrolled. So it's a good opportunity to explore. And talking about institutes, we have about 123 institutes under UCAS, which means University of Chinese Academy of Sciences. UCAS or CAS is not like our regular conventional university. It's a research-based institute whereby we have different institutes under it. On the other hand, USTC is a conventional university. It's just one school that is also participating in the ANSO scholarship. So basically, ANSO comprises of UCAS and USTC and other CAS institutes, like I said. Now, for the CSC application, the CSC scholarship, we have three categories. We have the type A, B, and C. For type A, it is done by applying through the Chinese embassy of your home country. So it's an agreement between the embassy of China in your home country. That's how it's been applied. For the type B scholarship, which is the most common one, is application directly through Chinese university, which means the student is the one that would apply by choosing the school of your choice, the course of your choice, and then searching for a potential supervisor to accept you in his or lab. While the type C is applied through other means. I really don't know much about type C. Now let's move on to the eligibility of each student. I've said this earlier, you have to be a citizen of developing country in Asia, Africa, or other places. Now, let's talk about the age limit, the age requirements. For master's applicants, the maximum age at the year of application, the maximum age they can be should be 30 years for master's applicants. That's for ANSO scholarship. But for CSC scholarship, the maximum age is 35. While for PhD program, the applicants should be the maximum age of 35 years old, while for CSC is 40 years of age. So what are the education requirements that you need? So if you are applying for masters, you should have a bachelor's degree, which is equivalent in a science or technology related field. While if you're applying for PhD, you should have your bachelor and your master's. Then for the proficiency, the language proficiency, you should provide a proof of English, which could be the English exams, the common one, IELTS, TOEFL. Also, for China or for ANSO and CSC scholarship, you don't need to write these exams. You can simply provide a medium of instruction from your undergraduate university. It's enough to apply for both scholarship. Another point is you must be research oriented, have strong interest in scientific research, and also you must have a research experience or a research background from your undergraduate studies. So simply means if you intend to apply to CSC or ANSO, you must have it at the back of your mind that you're coming to do basic research, extensive research rather, and also some other course work. So what are the admission criteria? You have to meet the admission criteria of USTC, UCAS, or CSC. Another important thing is you must not take up any other assignment during the period of your scholarship. You cannot work while studying, or probably you cannot be a beneficiary of any other scholarship at that moment or during the time of your scholarship stay in China. Now, let's talk about the required documents that you need to apply to these scholarships. The first one is online application form, which simply means the application portal for either CSC or ANSO scholarship. You have to go through their online portal and fill in the required instruction, the document upload, the personal information, and other things that you are being asked. Now, also you need a CV, of course, but not just any CV, an academic CV showing your track records from your previous academic experiences and other things involved. You also need international passport for visa and travel purpose, degree certificate and transcript. I've said this earlier. You have to present your certificate from your previous school and the transcript. And for Chinese application, the transcript must be notarized by a law enforcing body to show that it will be accepted. It should be a notarized transcript. Also, you need recommendation letters. At least 2 recommendation letters is needed from your previous lecturers, professors. Mostly academic recommendations is needed for you to complete the application. Okay, I've mentioned the English proficiency earlier. You need IELTS or TOEFL. If you don't have any of those, you are good to go with your MOI, which is medium of instruction, a certificate showing that your study was carried out in English language. Research proposal is the next thing. It is optional for some application, and sometimes they request for a study plan instead. So either it's research proposal or a study plan. So you need to get all these things ready before you could apply. And also, getting ready means preparing as early as possible. The application rounds is usually between late October to February 15th. For CSA, it ends around March 31. Now, the next thing is the acceptance letter. It is optional, but it is compulsory. It is necessary, but not compulsory. But it gives you higher chance in the application pool. So it means you have to send a code mail to professors or assistant professors in different labs that is in your field. You have to mail them in advance, such that if they accept you, it will definitely boost your chances in applying for these scholarships. Now, what are the benefits attached to securing an ANSO scholarship or a CSC scholarship? Okay, before I talk about the benefits, the duration of study for masters in China is 3 years, mostly for science-related courses. For masters, you have 3 years, while for PhD, you have 4 years. 1 year for classes, for lecture, for courses. So the 2 years is for extensive research, like I mentioned earlier. And for PhD, 1 year for classes and the other 3 years for extensive research. Now, for masters, the monthly stipends is always around 3,000 Chinese yuan monthly, while for PhD is between 6,000 to 7,000 Chinese yuan every month. This amount is for ANSO scholarship, while for CSC scholarship is also 3,000 Chinese yuan per month. For PhD, it is 3,500 Chinese yuan per month. So basically, ANSO scholarship is the most prestigious scholarship in China. So some of the other benefits are tuition waiver. For a student, the amount for tuition is around 30,000 RMB, between 25,000 to 30,000 RMB. So as a scholarship holder, this tuition will be waived. Then you have access to free health insurance. Also, there's no application fee involved. Application fee is being waived. Travel allowance from Awardee's home country. So for this benefit is only peculiar to ANSO scholarship. The scholarship will bear the cost of your travel allowance coming to China. Then also the residence permit allowance will also be refunded when you come here. Now, for more information or to get more info about CSC and ANSO scholarship, I have put some important websites here on the screen, so we can access them to get more information. Perhaps there are some areas I have not been able to cover, or maybe you don't understand what I mean by some of what I explained. So these are for CSC, we have the Chinese Scholarship Council website, talks about the CSC scholarship itself. And this is the online application portal for the Chinese government scholarship. And this list of Chinese universities, from this website, you can see the list of participating universities under CSC scholarship. They should be around 250 and above. So that means you have a lot of options to explore these schools, check their website, check departmental faculty websites to see these professors, and you will get to see those that are aligned with your own research interest. Now, this is for ANSO scholarship. This is the ANSO official website. Then the ANSO scholarship application portal. Also, the USTC ANSO scholarship page and the UCAS ANSO scholarship page. So thank you for listening. Once again, I say a big thank you to the organizers for bringing up this informative platform, and also to the listeners. I pray I wish you good luck for your scholarship pursuits. Thank you very much. Do
All
you have
right.
any questions?
All right. Thank you so much, Scholar Razak, for that wonderful presentation about the ANSO and the CSE scholarship. Thank you so much. To our viewers, if you have questions, you can drop them on the chat. We are going to read them out. Feel free to drop your question on the chat. So while our viewers are trying to drop their questions on the chat, I want to ask, when is the timeline, or I mean, which particular month of the year do we usually have the CSC and the ANSO?
Okay. For like I said, for the CSC and ANSO, the application round usually open late October or early November. Then for ANSO, it closes by February 15th of the following year. While for CSC, it closes by March 31st of the following year. And again, for CSC, you need to apply to the CSC portal while also applying to a school that you have chosen. So it's like two applications. Your application from the school you chose will be used in the CSC portal to show that you have chosen a particular school. So that's how it works. While for ANSO scholarship, you can only choose one of UCAS or USTC. You cannot choose both. If you choose both, you'll be automatically disqualified. So it's either USTC or UCAS.
All right. Thank you so much. I also have another question. Thank you for that wonderful answer. Let's say that I'm a student and I'm in my second year master's student. I'm in my second year of master's program. Can I apply to either of ANSO or CSC, or I must have completed my program?
For this, uh, if I get your question, if you are a master student, right,
Yeah, in final year.
final year, and we want to apply to PhD program,
Exactly, exactly.
of course, in as much that when by the time you would get the admission, you will have been through with your master's program. It's possible because even from the what's it called, from the application portal, they would ask you if you have completed or you are still running the program. And if you don't have a certificate yet, they would accept a pre-certificate or your transcript to apply, because they also know that most students might have not finished their program as at the time they were applying. So it's very possible.
All right, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. To our viewers, please, if you have questions, you can drop them on the chat so that I can read them out to Scholar Razak. Okay, so another possible question is that I think you said that the ANSO scholarship is free. The application is usually free.
Yes.
What about the CSC? Because you
Oh,
said
okay.
you're applying for two things, right? The scholarship
Yes,
and
I skipped the CSA. The CSA part actually, like I said it has many schools, as much as 250 schools and above. These schools have different application policy. While some does not require application fee, some requires, but not too expensive application fee, around a range between 400 to 800 RMB, Chinese yuan. Some of the schools actually require application fee. That's for CSC application. So you need to apply to one of the schools at first, then complete your application on CSC portal. Before, like let me say 2021 and below, you have the opportunity to choose 3 schools from CSC, which increases your chance. But currently, you can only choose one school for CSC and apply.
all right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for
Uh,
that. Thank you. All right. Okay, I think on the comment section here, Yeah, I think I don't have any more questions. I don't have any more questions. So before we end the session, I don't know if you have any final words or final thoughts for our viewers, right? Because it seems
Okay.
like, if I'm not mistaken now, I think it seems like the CSC specifically is still open, right?
Okay. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So those that are
Uh,
interested.
okay. I can see before I answer you, I can see some question on the.
Okay,
Uh,
okay, okay, okay,
I think I will address that
okay.
from highlight. He said that masters is for 3 years. He didn't get what I said for the first year is for. So the first year is for courses, taking courses related to the program you have chosen. So the first year is basically for attending classes. In addition, apart from the courses you take, you also be taught some basic Chinese, which is required, is compulsory courses. Though your program is not in Chinese, it will be delivered in English. But for the Chinese classes, it is compulsory for every students to take the courses. So the first year is for taking courses, while after the first year, you you start your research experience. And again, I said for ANSO, I said that the first year is for courses. For example, the ANSO scholarship has many institutes across different cities in China, but most of the institutes are basically in Beijing, while some are in other cities like Shanghai, Wuhan, and the likes. So it is, but majorly the main campus is always in Beijing. So all the students will take the courses together in the main campus. So it is possible for you to do your first year in Beijing and go to Shanghai for the next 2 years, if that is where your institute is based, where you do your extensive research. But for CSC scholarship, it's not like that. You do everything in your school of choice. So I hope I've been able to answer that. Thanks for that. Can you share the common mistakes applicants make when applying for ANSO and how to avoid them? Okay, I also have a question I want to answer now. The common mistakes that can be encountered, I mentioned this earlier that for ANSO scholarship, you can only choose one school, one school which is either USTC or UCAS. Choosing two schools at the same time is automatic disqualification. Uh, Another common mistake is while uploading your files, make sure they are well scanned. Do not use your phone camera to well, now people use phone camera or use some scanning device, but just make sure, what I'm trying to say is just make sure your documents are well scanned, it can be easily seen, and it's also uh, it's also correct. What other common mistake? I think that's all for now. And then also for the finding supervisor is a very strenuous task, because you might send loads of code mail and not get any response, or get few responses, sometimes positive, sometimes negative. So my advice is you just keep trying, keep sending that mail, and make sure you start as early as possible. I mentioned that the scholarship, the opening is always around October. So it is advisable to start as early as maybe August, September to start mailing the supervisors because they get a lot of mails. So if you can start earlier and mail as many as possible, then you can actually find one who will be interested in your academic experience and then accept you to his or her lab. So the earlier, the better.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for the comprehensive answers to all the questions. All right. Do we still have anyone who still needs to ask one or two questions? You can still drop it. Okay. So, otherwise, Scholar Razak, do you have any final, thoughts?
Yeah, Scholar Samuel. Well done, Scholar Razak. I think we still have some questions. Okay.
Okay. Can you see them from your side? Because I can't see them.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Go
I
ahead.
can't see
So,
more questions. Maybe you can just say it.
okay. Have
Okay.
you
Okay. Ask your question. Somebody, yeah, ask your question.
Okay, Maxwell.
Yeah.
okay? Why is doing that? I want to ask a personal question.
Okay.
Okay.
So the question I want to ask is please can you share the common mistakes? I don't know whether you've talked about it already. Common
Oh,
mistake applicant makes when applying for ANSO and how they can avoid it.
okay. I've actually said it before, but I will repeat myself. Uh, for ANSO scholarship, you can only apply to either USTC or UCAS. Do not try to apply to both of them because if you do that, it's automatic disqualification. I also mentioned that your documents must be well arranged, well scanned. The the file must be well presented such that the information inside will be legible and seen. So another common mistake while applying to ANSO could be, for example, if you don't have a supervisor, you can actually try to apply. Because I mentioned earlier that having a supervisor increases your chances. Yes, we know, but nevertheless, try to apply because sometimes when you have a very good profile, I mean, your academic background is okay, you have good results and every other thing, your research experience is top notch, but sometimes you might be unlucky to get a supervisor. If you apply, I know some of my friends who applied without a supervisor, and when the um, admission committee saw their application, because they will also go through it, they will surely send a mail to a supervisor whose field is related to your work. So the fact that you don't have a supervisor should not deter you from applying. You can also apply if you don't have a supervisor. So that's it.
All
Okay,
right,
I have
thank
a
you so much.
question. I have a question from Maxwell.
Okay.
Okay. Time to communicate with a supervisor. I don't know. Is everybody from Nigeria on this platform? The viewers.
Yeah. I mean, we have people from other countries also.
Okay. Let me just say it generally. China is GMT +8. So okay, Ghana. You're from Ghana, so it's close to Nigeria. So when you apply, when you want to send. Okay, is it interview?
Yes. Like what's the
After.
timeline you get a reply after an interview from
Okay,
the
which
from
time is favorable for an individual to hear from a supervisor after an interview? Yesterday. This question is quite. So let me just give you this clue. You have to target the time that China is in early morning, maybe 8 a.m., 9 a.m. That's when those professors usually get to their office and try to check their mail or do some other things on their computer. So, but you can actually send a mail before then. During my own time, while I was sending mails to supervisor, I wake up um, early in the morning, maybe 12, 1, 2, 3, and send my mail because I know that by then the supervisors are around 10 a.m., 9 a.m., 8 a.m. in China. So it's easy, it will be easier for them to see at that time. So always target the time they are in the morning. However, sometimes it's not applicable sometimes. It could be in the evening they see your mail. But the bottom line is just make sure you send your mail as soon as possible.
Okay.
Okay, but I think your question is what time will you get a response for an interview? I cannot actually know. It depends. It will vary from supervisor to supervisor. For example, if you get an acceptance and they speak to you for the first time, and you are expecting them to okay, you already have an interview. You want to know how long it will take for you to get an acceptance from them. So I don't know if this person can actually speak. I want to know what it means because once you have an interview, they should be able to tell you, if not immediately, whether you have been accepted or not. So I really don't know the conversation you had with that supervisor. So I don't know if you can. Okay, they cannot talk. They can
Yeah,
only
yeah.
type.
Yes. I think
Okay.
actually, if you can, if you can answer that information, you can type that on the chat. Okay.
Because for some supervisor, me for example, the day I did my interview was the day my supervisor accepted me. Why some might say, but in most cases they usually accept at a spot because these supervisors too, they like working with international students, and they also for them accepting a student internationally is also a win for them because there's a particular way it's built their rank. So if they like your academic background and they see your interest in their work, they don't have option than to accept you, except if except if maybe they have more than one applicant and they are trying to choose the best. Okay, he was willing to cover my tuition if I chose computer science and technology. So I don't understand if this is a scholarship based. If it's actually one of the scholarship I've mentioned, is not the one to cover your tuition, then the scholarship body will do that. But okay, I did not mention earlier in my presentation. For CSC scholarship, there are also some. Okay, for this is not CS scholarship, it's not ANSO, but for these schools that I've mentioned, other conventional schools in China, they also have some presidential scholarship and provincial scholarship. Though their funding is not as big as this scholarship I've mentioned, but it's also worth it. So scholars should also try to look into this. Some schools have this provincial scholarship, more like a, let me say, a state government scholarship and school scholarship itself. So we can try to explore that also. So, okay, Maxwell said it's a CSC scholarship and the supervisor advertise it. Ah, okay. Don't be surprised. Some of these professors, they don't really know the in-depth information about either CSE, ANSO, and the likes. They just know there's a scholarship or there's a way to cover for these expenses. So Maxwell, I would advise you to keep in touch with him maybe the next mail you share with him, try as much as possible to request for his WeChat contact, because it will be easier for you to communicate. And most Chinese person is WeChat is the number one application or for conversation and communication, because sometimes your mail might not be seen immediately, or they are too busy or to check your mail. So if possible, you can ask him for the WeChat contact. It will be so easy for you to communicate. I think that's that. So okay, I have a question from Highlight. I just graduated from university and all I have don't as ah, which happens to be a group work. Do I stand a chance when all I have regard my scholarship research is my final year project? Oh, okay, okay.
Oh,
What
okay.
you have is your final year project, which is a group work. Of course, your final year project is also your work, whether it's a group work or not. There's a way you have to tailor it in um, your CV, and also when you want to write your study plan or your research proposal, you can state this: what you did, the results you got, how you went about it, and the scientific relevance of the work you did, and also how it aligns with the supervisor you are trying to seek. So it's undergraduate research is also part of your research experience. So I hope I've answered that. Okay.
Okay. I think very quickly there's a question from someone at the top from Oluwafem.
Okay,
Oluwafem.
Oluwafemi Olasende, please can
Yeah.
you share with us ANSO and CSC mandates and how to tailor our SOP towards meeting them? Their mandate is um, actually just research oriented. Like, you have to talk about what you intend to do with the experience you have, what you intend to gain from the scholarship, as well as what you do afterwards. It's just there's no special mandate. It's just the normal conventional way of writing an SOP or personal statement. And for more information, like I said, the I've shared the link of all the scholarship in the last slide, where you can explore more about ANSO and CSC. So the mandate is not far-fetched. It's just the basic things they need. Okay. Any other question?
All right. So, do we have any other questions? Then, Scholar
Okay.
Razak,
Okay.
just a follow-up question. I mean, on Mr. Maxwell's question, a question dropped in my mind now. Now, for the CSC
Okay. Okay.
scholarship, like once a student gets a supervisor, right?
Hmm.
Is the supervisor sort of going to like present him a particular certificate, or
Oh
is
yeah,
just
yeah.
accept you? Yeah.
I mentioned acceptance letter. That's what the supervisor will present the student. Acceptance letter.
Okay.
It could be most Chinese school, they have their official letterhead for the acceptance letter. So they just write the details of the student, the acceptance, the name of the supervisor accepting, and then the signature. So that is the file you upload.
Okay. Yeah.
So once a supervisor accepts, you should request for the acceptance letter. It is equally needed for the application.
All right. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Scholar Razak. Please, I have one more question from my end.
Okay.
Okay. So the question is, are ANSO scholars required to return to their home countries after completing their studies?
Yes. After completing your studies, there is no chance for maybe uh, a post study. You have to go back to your home country, except you want to further apply to continue your study, or you want to do something else in China. But for most people who applied for masters in China or for ANSO scholarship, if they don't want to continue in China, they most times apply to another country. So unlike other countries where after you finish your program, you still have some opportunity to stay behind, maybe look for a job or find something to do. No, it's not applicable here in China. It's strictly, if you're a student, then you are strictly here to study.
All right, scholar. Thank you very much. Thank you for the
Uh,
wonderful session.
All right. Thank you so much, Scholar Razak. We are really happy and excited to have you on board. Thank you so much. I think I can't find any other questions on the chat. And in the absence of no other question, any final thoughts for our viewers?
okay, I don't know if they would, maybe some of them would want to request for this PPT. I will be happy to share it. And if any one of them also want to contact with me personally for further inquiries, I'm open to that as well. So
All right. All
that's,
right.
that's it.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. All right. In the absence of no other questions and comments, I think we have exhausted all our questions. Thank you so much, Scholar Razak, for joining us. And then thank you, everyone, also from joining us on this program from wherever you might be joining from. And we hope to have you in our next sessions. Come here, March. We're also going to be having another section, and it will be announced on the appropriate platform, and it should be duly communicated. Thank you all. Thank you, everyone. And stay tuned for the next program. Thank you.
All right, thank you.